from a man whose fashion sense and mannerisms left people totally confused.
Funny man tells me that I'm being like a girl, but they work.
You actually are.
Yeah, but I gotta try to stay young.
To a guy who flat out refused to get intimate with his own girlfriend.
I want a wife. So we need to work on our relationship, we can form a tighter bond, and eventually have sex.
This is the strange evolution of Tim Malcolm, how a gun shop owner from North Carolina became one of 90 Day Fiancé's most puzzling figures, leaving fans baffled for more than 5 years. Still asking yourself why this guy avoids physical intimacy with attractive women while insisting he's straight? Trust me, Tim's story is even stranger than it looks. Tim Malcolm wasn't your average reality TV wannabe when he entered the 90 Day Fiancé world back in 2018.
Flex it like Arnie.
Born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina, Tim spent the 2000s building himself as a local entrepreneur. Eventually, he took over Gringo Custom Guns, a firearms business that would later become a recurring factor in his chaotic love life. But Tim's road to reality television actually started much earlier than most people realize. Back in the 1990s, his father brought him along as a movie extra in films like Whoopi Goldberg's basketball flop Eddie and Michael Douglas's Black Rain. That experience sparked Tim's interest in entertainment, but instead of chasing Hollywood, he stayed in Charlotte, bought a tanning salon with his brother, and walked away from acting. Everything shifted after he spotted Gwyneth Paltrow filming Shallow Hal at a nearby gas station. That moment made Tim realize North Carolina was turning into a filming hotspot, and his reality TV ambitions came back to life. Before Tim became infamous for dodging intimacy, he had a long-term relationship that would define much of his future behavior. Tim dated Veronica Rodriguez from roughly 2008 to 2015, and according to him, their physical relationship was solid for at least 5 of those 7 years. They met when Tim was 28 and Veronica was 23, recently divorced and ready for something new. Their first meeting perfectly sums up Tim's brand of weirdness. Veronica was out at a bar with friends when she boldly announced she would kiss the most attractive guy there.
I don't drink.
No, he had gone out with a friend, and I had gone out with my girlfriends, and I told my girlfriends, I said, I'm gonna find like the most attractive man here, and I'm just gonna walk up to him and I'm gonna kiss him.
Tim was standing next to a friend who looked straight out of an Abercrombie & Fitch catalog. Yet Veronica walked right past him and went straight for Tim. When the better-looking friend asked for her number, she told him only one man was getting it that night, and she had already slipped her number into Tim's pocket without him even noticing.
Your number in his
back pocket.
His back pocket.
In his back pocket.
And he apparently didn't notice.
And I went to sleep thinking I'll never call her.
Their relationship lasted 7 years, ended in an engagement, and Tim even stepped into a father figure role for Veronica's daughter Chloe when she was just 18 months old. By 2015, however, things fell apart. Tim later described the breakup as strange and messy, with arguments over cars, houses, and furniture as their relationship completely unraveled. Fast forward to 2018, when Tim decided to try international dating, a decision that led him straight into one of reality TV's most uncomfortable romances. He met Jennifer Tarazona on a website designed specifically for men looking to date Colombian women. Jennifer was a 25-year-old model and single mother from Bucaramanga, Colombia. Exactly the kind of woman most men would be eager to meet. But from the very start, Tim handled this relationship in the most bizarre way possible. The first major red flag came when he planned to propose using the exact same engagement ring he had previously given Veronica. Not a similar ring, the exact same one.
Baby, this ring is beautiful. Where did you get it?
What?
Where did you get it?
Well, that's, a long story.
Once this was revealed during their trip to Colombia, Jennifer understandably exploded and tossed the ring right back at him. What made things even stranger was Tim's inability to let Veronica go. His ex-fiancée was deeply involved in his new relationship, offering opinions, joining video calls, and behaving as if she were still part of his romantic life. This created an uncomfortable love triangle where Tim seemed far more emotionally invested in his ex than the woman he was dating. What happened when Tim finally traveled to Colombia in 2019 exposed just how unusual he really was.
Veronica called me.
Why?
I told her that I would call her when I got here just to let her know that I got here safely.
When he arrived to meet Jennifer on 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 Days, Season 3, viewers were forced to sit through some of the most painfully awkward scenes the franchise had ever produced. The intimacy issue became impossible to ignore. Tim showed zero physical attraction toward Jennifer, a stunning model who was clearly interested in him.
The first time I saw him, I thought Tim had a good style. And we started to talk about his house and the Ferrari.
They barely kissed, never became intimate, and Tim seemed determined to avoid any romantic moment altogether. Jennifer couldn't understand why he hadn't even tried to kiss her. At one point, she told Tim she wanted him to conquer her, a comment that made him so uncomfortable he nearly choked on his breakfast. Instead of responding like a normal person, he changed the subject to planning what outfit he would wear that day. Yes, seriously. A woman says she wants to be conquered, and Tim starts talking about clothes. Then came the infamous gold eye mask moment. Tim was filmed wearing gold collagen under eye patches as part of his skincare routine. Fans immediately went into detective mode, zooming in on screenshots and speculating about cosmetic surgery, with some even claiming he might be transgender. But the moment that truly cemented Tim's reputation for being strange was still ahead. While out to dinner with Jennifer, Tim casually mentioned that Colombia was actually his favorite country, and that this was already his 5th trip there. That instantly set off alarm bells for Jennifer. If this trip was all about meeting her, why had he been to Colombia so many times before? The reality was worse than she expected. Tim had a Colombian ex-girlfriend from Bogota. They had lived together for 2 years, and like a complete idiot, he still had her saved in his phone as Mommy.
She was Colombian, from Bogota.
Really? Like me?
When Jennifer demanded to see the message that had just popped up from his ex, Tim foolishly handed over his phone without changing the contact name. Jennifer immediately grabbed a beer, threw it straight in his face, and stormed out in full telenovela fashion. Tim sat there wiping beer off his face, completely stunned and clueless about what to do next. At the Season 3 tell-all, Tim claimed he and Jennifer were still together and working on getting her to the United States. But by 2020, during the self-quarantine spin-off, Tim admitted the relationship had officially ended. He explained that after his fall 2019 visit to Colombia, he never saw Jennifer again. They had discussed applying for her visa, but Tim chose to spend the money on expensive new equipment for his gun business instead. When Jennifer accused him of prioritizing his business over their relationship, it sparked constant arguments that eventually ended things for good. The breakup was so complete that when Tim tried calling Jennifer during COVID-19 just to check on her, she refused to even pick up the phone.
Spent more time arguing than having fun, bonding, or doing any of the things I actually went there to do. Jennifer and I broke up pretty quickly after I returned back to America from my trip,
But Tim's strange journey was far from finished. Fans were about to witness an entirely new level of awkward. After splitting from Jennifer, Tim became a regular fixture on Pillow Talk alongside Veronica. Their commentary on other couples was popular, but it also exposed just how unusual their bond really was. Tim and Veronica's dynamic on Pillow Talk was unlike anything viewers had seen before. They behaved like a long-married couple who somehow forgot they weren't together anymore. Veronica constantly joked about Tim's masculinity. Tim would snap back defensively, and the two argued like siblings.
start at the retail location.
I know, but this is what you do, Tim. You give yourself these goals. Like, you did it the whole time we were together, and this poor girl, like...
No, she's super into it.
She's super into it because you're telling her that this is what has to happen in order for her to get a house. When this happens, then I can live my life. Like, when I have the business.
The transgender rumors that began during Tim's season with Jennifer never truly faded away. Fans kept speculating about his sexuality and gender identity, with some obsessively searching hot tub screenshots for supposed surgical scars. Tim eventually addressed the rumors directly in interviews, calling them ridiculous and clarifying that he is not transgender. He said he supports people who choose to transition. It just isn't his story.
But sometimes I feel like people are just very ignorant by just, using only stereotypes to judge a sexuality. And there are people online that will, no matter what proof you present, they will not believe that I am not lying about my sexuality. They are just...
He also called out the double standard. When a woman says no to intimacy, it's respected. But when a man does it, people immediately question his sexuality. Once Tim had established himself as a Pillow Talk regular, his next reality TV chapter only added more confusion to his public image. When Jennifer moved on with Jesse Meester on The Single Life, fans knew a confrontation was inevitable, and it exploded spectacularly at the tell-all. Jennifer held nothing back, unloading years of built-up frustration. She accused Tim of being self-absorbed and mocked him for bragging about his possessions while doing little to make her feel appreciated.
Attacking me to this degree, like I've been out running my mouth, I've never said one thing about her.
You just did it.
Jesse, never one to stay quiet, added fuel to the fire by claiming Tim used to obsess over him while dating Jennifer, even showing her photos and calling Jesse the most attractive man in the franchise. Watching Jennifer's new boyfriend team up with her to embarrass her ex on national television was painfully awkward. Tim denied Jennifer's accusations that he was obsessed with appearances or too cheap to support her. He insisted that he had financially provided for both her and her daughter, Chloe, during their relationship. Still, his calm demeanor didn't stop him from being painted as the odd one out. Other cast members openly suggested that Tim looked jealous of Jesse and Jennifer's flashy, jet-setting lifestyle, compared to his quieter life back in North Carolina. As if the on-stage chaos wasn't enough, backstage drama made things even messier. According to fans who followed taping leaks, Tim and his friend Avery refused to shake Jesse's hand, while Angela reportedly stormed into the green room, defending Jesse like it was a wrestling tag team match. Meanwhile, Tim's personal life was heading into yet another strange phase. In March 2023, Tim shocked fans when he introduced his new girlfriend, Linda Ramirez, on 90 Day Bears All. Linda was just 23 years old, a full 17 years younger than Tim, who was 41 at the time. And just like Jennifer, Linda was also Colombian, leading fans to point out that Tim clearly had a very specific type. Tim later admitted that he met Linda through an international dating website, the same type of platform where he had originally met Jennifer years earlier. Linda was from Cali, Colombia, but had already been living in the United States for about a year and a half, roughly an 8-hour drive away from Tim. On the show, Tim explained that what made Linda different from the women he'd dated before was how low maintenance she seemed. She didn't mind the large age gap at all, insisting that she found Tim attractive and didn't see him as an older man. Tim also revealed that Linda was still learning English, which he described as a major barrier in their communication. Even so, the relationship appeared serious, with Tim claiming that Linda was planning to move in with him. But off camera, the reality was far less perfect. By early 2023, fans noticed that Tim had quietly removed any mention of Linda from his Facebook relationship status, sparking speculation that something was wrong. Not long after, Linda was seen posting suggestive videos on Instagram with another woman, while Tim was spotted filming with an unknown woman in Charlotte in May 2023. It quickly became clear that the relationship had ended without any official announcement. Tim later discussed the breakup in an interview with In Touch, shedding light on what really caused things to fall apart. He said the COVID-19 pandemic played a huge role in how quickly their relationship progressed. According to Tim, Linda ended up living with him due to pandemic-related circumstances. While things initially went well, he noticed Linda struggling emotionally as a foreigner trying to adjust to life in the US. Tim also pointed to their 17-year age gap as a contributing factor, along with the pressure that comes from being part of a reality TV franchise. He described Linda as sensitive, explaining that she had a hard time dealing with the harsh criticism and judgment from 90 Day Fiancé fans. In the end, the relationship slowly faded away without public drama. Tim later said that despite the breakup, he and Linda were able to remain on friendly terms. It was a quiet ending, perfectly on brand for Tim, whose relationships tend to dissolve silently rather than explode into chaos. Meanwhile, the franchise continued finding new ways to put Tim's odd behavior on display. Tim kept appearing across various 90 Day Fiancé spin-offs, always delivering his signature brand of awkwardness. During tell-all specials, he became known for questionable fashion choices and uncomfortable exchanges with fellow cast members. His appearance on The Single Life Season 4 brought fresh drama when he began dating Louisa Beltran, while Veronica was involved with Jamal Menzies.
You want to try?
No. How's the dating going? Are y'all like exclusive?
Louisa was a bold and striking Colombian woman who immediately changed the tone of Tim's storyline. The two met at a Charlotte singles event, and from the beginning, Louisa was upfront about wanting affection, intimacy, and a partner who could match her physical energy. Tim, predictably, did what Tim always does. He hit the brakes. On their early dates, including a croquet outing, Louisa initially found Tim charming, even calling him attractive and intriguing. But her patience wore thin quickly. She wanted kissing, hand-holding, and clear signs that Tim was physically interested in her. Tim, meanwhile, continued to dodge intimacy, offering excuses about not being ready. Fans immediately noticed the pattern, comparing his behavior to his time with Jennifer, when similar avoidance fueled rumors about his sexuality.
It's just so funny that every time I'm sitting on the stage, that's all we focus on. Like, it's the biggest deal in the world. It's like, why didn't you try to have sex with this girl? Who cares?
It's just normal.
Or just like a
if I
kiss.
like you, I
We
just want
did
to touch
kiss.
you. I just want
I
to
saw
be physical. I just want to
That's weird.
kiss you. You don't want anything.
But does that make me a bad person?
Her blunt comments stunned the cast, and things escalated when Jamal jumped in to support her. In one of the night's most heated moments, Jamal and Louisa effectively teamed up against Tim, mocking his slow pace and implying that his behavior validated long-standing rumors about his sexuality. Off-camera, the drama only deepened. Rumors circulated that Louisa and Jamal spent time together after the tell-all, possibly crossing boundaries, which only added another strange layer to Tim's situation. Fans debated whether Louisa genuinely liked Tim or was using the show for exposure, while others speculated whether Tim's reluctance toward intimacy stemmed from trauma, asexuality, or simply his personality.
No, I feel bad for Tim.
Tim got what he deserved. Like, honestly, we dated them. Now we could date and walk off into the sunset.
It's just, I don't know.
Tensions between Tim and Jamal also intensified over Veronica. Jamal took issue with how close Tim and Veronica remained, even refusing to move to North Carolina because he didn't want to deal with Tim's presence. Jamal claimed Veronica had spoken negatively about Tim and said he was holding back from fully calling him out. Things escalated when Jamal mocked Tim by calling him sweetheart, referencing rumors about his sexuality. When Tim questioned the comment, Jamal replied that Tim looked like one. Tim fired back by asking whether Jamal wanted to sleep with him, pointing out how strange it was for one man to speak that way to another. The exchange highlighted how Tim's sexuality continues to be questioned and ridiculed years after his debut on the show. Tim's appearance on Hunt for Love proved that his awkwardness had no limits. The spin-off was designed to give returning cast members a fresh chance at romance by surrounding them with a group of singles. For Tim, however, it became yet another stage for uncomfortable moments. Tim stood out immediately as the only cast member whose ex-girlfriend was also present. And not just any ex, but Jennifer, the one woman he openly doesn't get along with.
Ramirez, like 3 seconds later, the mask came off, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, how did that kind of change the course of your experience?
Well, it instantly changed my mood because she's my only ex that I can't pick up the phone and have a cordial conversation with. So, of course, I'm like...
While other cast members, like Colt Johnson, were given multiple chances despite awkward behavior, Tim had to navigate potential sabotage from his own past while trying to form new connections. The show also featured moments between Tim and Chantel Everett that some fans interpreted as a softer side of him, though even those interactions couldn't escape the underlying weirdness that seems to follow him everywhere. Tim has continued to defend himself against rumors about his sexuality and his role as a stepfather to Chloe. He's been vocal about anti-bullying causes, explaining that he was bullied as a child and later bullied again by reality TV viewers who were angry he wouldn't label himself as gay or transgender. His charity work includes fundraising for cancer patients and campaigns against cyberbullying. He's even surprised fans in person who've experienced bullying, showing that beneath the awkward exterior, there's a genuinely compassionate side to him. Still, the questions surrounding Tim Malcolm remain. Why does a man who owns a gun business and presents himself as traditionally masculine appear so uncomfortable around attractive women? Why does his closeness with his ex-fiancé continue to sabotage every new relationship? Tim's journey in the 90-Day Fiancé universe has been a long exercise in confusion. He's appeared across countless spin-offs, endured years of speculation about his sexuality, and somehow remained relevant despite never finding lasting love on screen. The truth is, Tim Malcolm may be reality TV's most successful failure. Most reality TV personalities eventually disappear once their storylines dry up or they become too controversial. Tim, however, keeps getting invited back, suggesting producers see real value in his awkwardness. His weirdness is endlessly fascinating. Viewers can't look away, hoping that one day someone will finally figure out what Tim's deal really is. Yet after 5 years, he remains just as mysterious as ever. The strange saga of Tim Malcolm proves that the most unforgettable reality TV figures aren't always the loudest or most dramatic. Sometimes they're simply the ones who leave you confused, wondering what you just watched. Tim has perfected the art of being unforgettable without ever being fully understood. A reality TV enigma who defies labels while staying just relatable enough to keep audiences hooked.